And then I have to mute us on YouTube so I don't hear an echo. Hi, everybody. It's Door 3 TV, and we're live from Baltimore and today, Barcelona.
Barcelona, it's dark.
Yeah.
Hello, internet world.
How are you?
Today is a special episode. Instead of Alex and Jonathan Blessing, we have Tom McClean and Federico Fernandez, who are our senior designers at Door 3, or two of our three senior designers. And we are going to talk about design systems. And because this is an extra special presentation, we even have a slide deck about design systems. So exciting.
We went all out today. I can't wait.
Yeah.
The suspense is killing me.
Yes.
So now I got to figure out where I put it. Oh boy.
This is just a little comedy intro. We planned this.
Yeah, this
so everybody knows.
Makes you wait.
This is just to give us a nice little segue to introduce ourselves again.
Yeah.
And to tell everybody out there in YouTube that
Oh boy.
Fede's nickname is FedEx.
That was a bad joke.
For those of you who don't know why, it's because he always delivers.
That was a good one.
All right.
Thank you, Tom.
I'm going to ask that classic Zoom question. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so a lot of what we do at Door 3 is building design systems and thinking about design systems and talking about design systems. So we thought it would be helpful to have a little explainer. What is a design system and why should you have one? With Liz, Tom, and Fede.
Yes, here we are. Here we are. Here we go.
So guys, what is a design system?
You want to go first, Fede? You want to hit it?
Well, I think we can read here part of what it is, but it's a collection of rules in some way, a way to put together all the pieces that will end up helping us to construct a product. So it's a place where we organize all these elements, little components that end up being an application or a website or anything that we want to put into digital. So yeah, that's a nice way for me to put it.
It's sort of a visual collection of rules, I would say.
Yeah.
And we use Figma, of course, to develop our design systems, and Figma is great for design systems, but there's a lot of different ways that you can do this. And of course, design systems predate any of these UX tools.
Yep. I don't know what you think, Tom, but in some way, design system, it also kind of helps for the communication between the whole team, with developers, with business, the business part, and us as designers is our way to show them where we are and the elements that we need to build something. So
yeah, totally. I was going to say something philosophical, but then it's probably, well, I'll say it anyway. It's a one source of truth. It's the one source of truth that we can all reflect back to, and we can see the main component, the main source of everything. So we know where is the master copy, which can sometimes get lost in the process. And yeah, just bouncing off what you said, Fede, of course, it's about consistency, and it's about streamlining our workflows as well. And as you all know, our many fans out there in YouTube land, Door 3, we develop, we design, we consult. So this is something that not only helps us with our clients, but it helps us stay in contact and stay on top of things and communicate better with our own internal teams as well.
Yeah, so it's
Sure.
not just what for instance, a button looks like. Of course, it's useful to have a canonical source of truth for how you want a call to action or a button or some other element, some other digital element to look, but it's also, as this slide says, the code. So you can see you can pull out of that little element what the parameters are of that piece, like what's the color, what are the parameters of it, what are the boundaries around it, and then there's also, or there should be, documentation of how it interacts and how it functions. So what's the use case for this particular button, where should it go on a page, where should you never use this, what happens when you press it, what are the different states, etc.
Yes, exactly. And
True.
something we haven't really got into so much in our own work, but I would really love to in the future, is once we get into the states of motion as well. And when we have motion and this visual feedback, then documentation can become really fundamentally important as well. I mean, we can always show how to do it, but you need to have kind of a written document, and also to accompany the motion to really explain that in detail to people.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah. And can we talk about why a design system isn't a style guide?
Yes. I'll try and go for it first. A design system is something deeper, and it's collaborative. And a design system is also something that isn't done one time by a team and is finished. A design system, in my opinion, is a living, breathing thing that we have to show love to on a regular basis. I know sometimes they don't get shown as much love as they deserve, but there should be a keeper or keepers, maybe even a rotation of keepers. And the idea is that evolves with the needs of your enterprise, your company, your team, and that's constantly being adapted, being improved upon, being thought about and iterated. Whereas a UI style guide is something that's quite static, that would exist for a period of time and then would be probably redesigned from the ground up, and also wouldn't have the same level of handover documentation. Sorry for rambling. I'll give someone else a chance.
I think that's good.
No, yeah, that was a great way to explain it. Like, I believe, like as Tom said, like style guide, it's like maybe even sound like one rule and that's it. No, but when you have a product that it's evolving and even changing in time, this is what the design system help you. Like, even if you want to reskin or redesign something, by having that design system already built, like it help you to change something quickly, and have those set of rules already prepared through the lifetime period of your product. So yeah, it's something live. It's something that continuously changes, and yeah, you put it pretty much in very nice words, Tom.
Yeah.
The difference.
So,
and now you segue into this, Fede. What's that over the screen?
Well, this basically here we wanted to put together that show you that many big companies already use them. We see already this design system in use, like for example, Google Material Design System. Like
many other companies use material design. So Google developed material design for their platforms, their wide array of platforms. Google Maps, Google Gmail, Google Drive, etc. all use material design, but also many companies use material design for web-based applications because it plays well with Chrome and other browsers. And we use material design as a basis UI often, and insert client colors, etc. into it, and adapt it for our use.
That's true.
Totally. Thank you, Google. We appreciate it a lot. And,
yeah.
we don't look forward to the day when we're obsolete because when we're not needed anymore.
Well, I think, yeah, I mean, I think, Google's made material design and made it available to designers like us to adapt for client needs, but clients, still need a designer to do that adaptation work, to make sure that it works for, their colors and their logos, et cetera. I think IBM's Carbon design system is really impressive because of the way that they present it on the web. It's like a very beautiful site, and we can look at that a little bit later.
Yeah.
So here's the big question. Why do you, and this is the general you, as in everybody, as in every company, why do you need a design system? So we imagine building a structure. I think we were thinking about building very complex Lego models.
Yes.
But imagine Project A is building New York City. So that's
not
just,
exactly
just a
small
just
project.
just a little project. Imagine you're building New York City skyscrapers out of Legos, and you need all of these different pieces. There's all these little pieces, apparently 598 of them. Where do we get 598?
That was the actual number for this.
For this Lego model?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It seems like it would be
really?
more.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I looked for it.
Doesn't it seem like it would be more? I don't know. So yeah, you need 598 pieces to build this New York City Lego model. And imagine you just have this giant pile of these Lego pieces on the floor, and you're like,
what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? So without a design system, you're building every basic component from scratch. So imagine, all of the things that you see in an application, calls to action, buttons, modules, form fields, etc. And you're just making them. You're just drawing them. You're drawing the little boxes inside the bigger box. And if you don't have some kind of structure for that, every one of them is going to be slightly different. And you also know that you need to create custom functionality. Like, for instance, your form field, you want the data to be validated, or you want it to only contain a certain number of characters. So typically you're taking, the content areas that you need to develop, or the components you need to develop, and you're making sure that you're building in the correct functionality. And then you're also designing for styling those components correctly. And then in the end, you have these little custom style components. And in this metaphor, that's like an individual Lego piece.
Yes, and imagine that's a lot of work if you're in the Lego construction business, if we stick to the metaphor, and every project you want to repaint and rebuild every Lego. That doesn't seem like a very time-effective solution.
Right. And exactly, if you don't have any kind of structure in place, it's less even that you have like a pile of Legos on the floor and you have to figure out how to make them into something. And it's more like you have a pile of plastic, and you somehow have to like create your own individual little Lego bricks, like build your own little Lego mold and construct them. And nobody likes that. That's a big waste of time, So
yep.
So much better to just get your Legos from Lego. Yeah. So to extend our metaphor, you don't want to build the same components from scratch for every new project. There's certain standard things that you're going to need, the form fields and buttons and calls to action that we talked about. And you want to make sure that you have those easily to hand and they're easy to style correctly, and what the functionality is going to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Easy to find when you need them as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm really going down the rabbit hole of the Lego metaphor, but organization is key as well.
Yeah.
Well, but this goes a little bit like kind of what we were talking before. When you have Google, then you could see Gmail. It could be one project, or Google Drive. But then it's the moment that by having a design system, you can see the same element in different projects. No, like if we call Gmail one project and Google Drive one project, like the button still the same, no matter in where it is. No, so this means they are keeping consistency. And
that's so important for so many reasons. I mean, from the UX perspective, you want the experience to be the same across a brand's various platforms. You want the button to look the same and have the same functionality so that the user doesn't get confused or lost. But also from the business perspective, it's just so much faster and easier to have a standard template for the button that your developers, the designers know what it is and where to find it and how to use it and where to place it, and the developers know how to make it and how to make it work well. There is a better way. This is the enlightenment slide. Instead of having this giant pile of requirements that are undifferentiated from each other that you have to slowly develop into components, you have a design system where the structure and the components already are kind of set up for you, and then it makes it easy to take those little pieces and chunks and develop them into the different projects, which in this case, I guess, is the skyline, the Guggenheim Museum, and the Statue of Liberty. Just what everyone always wanted. I was hoping that there would be
door 3, NYC. Let's
yes.
Make a shameless plug.
I was really hoping we would have a pirate ship in here because that's my favorite Lego model, but I'll take the Guggenheim Museum instead.
Next time, in the next Team UX meeting, we can make virtual Legos and a pirate ship for you.
Nice.
So if you look at the slide, yes, that's a very good metaphor, because what we're talking about, we've just managed to remove one whole step, almost 2 whole steps of that process. That we have our design system in place. Everything's neatly organized and aligned there, easy to find, easy to understand, and I think one good point for us as designers we can say is having this design system in place. Actually, it gives us more time to do what we love, which is designing things. I mean, that's the fun part, rolling up our sleeves, being creative and playing around with our concepts. And we're just removing a lot of this repetitive legwork, which is great, because who wants to spend the first sprint of a project just making form fields or trying to find form fields or organizing them. So that's one of the reasons I'm a huge fan of design systems, because it actually just frees me up time to design.
That's true, but I would say that's one important thing. I know, and the other is the communication. Like I wouldn't take it out. Like communication through the whole process. Like this is kind of the middle ground in between design and developers too. So like you said, we don't spend that much time explaining to the programmers, like, hey, how this button function, and like how all the UX, it's already defined in the design system, and we know it's going to work for the user and the product at the end. So communication
is key.
Yeah.
Should we look at material design?
Sure. It's fun to nerd out of it and
go through it.
Well, I'm a huge fan of Google design and applications in general. For me, they're really like the gold standard of UX. And even though, shock horror, I don't use an Android phone, the Google apps that I have installed on my iPhone I think they're the best thought out. They're the easiest, the most intuitive to understand. So let's dive in.
Yeah. So this is just like a beautifully designed site. It's really bright. Everything is very clearly laid out and sort of nested. the color themes are all laid out, and maybe we can look at layouts too. I mean, this is
and
very
one
detailed.
Yes, one thing I would say that the first time I saw this, I was really impressed, and I read a case study. It's material design, because they take all of their cues and inspirations from the real world, real material, and actually, when developing, the shadows and the lighting effects, the depth, they actually just took little tiny pieces of paper, like almost like a lab style setting, and we're casting shadows and really looking at the different depths. So I really like that. They started with the paper prototypes, and then of course they took it to this extremely polished end result. But
as you can see, they're thinking about, like, the shadows cast by, they're saying, like, don't do just a single shadow cast by a key light. That looks kind of fake. So they want like key and ambient lights, and they're then it really like makes that style that we're all familiar with from Google products, where it seems like there's a layer floating on top of another layer. It really like pops that layer out. That little extra level of shadow manipulation.
Yeah, and what's really great about this is that you can come in, and they have everything so well explained and documented that if you didn't know anything about this, you could give it 20 minutes, 30 minutes of reading, and you would understand their principles, exactly what they're trying to achieve, guidelines to help you achieve this seamless, consistent integration with their design system as well. So bravo.
And I think, like, if you go a little bit up, Liz, like, you can show that they're not only like rules has not only need to be written, maybe reading all of this,
but you also have demonstration.
You have
of how
animated demonstration. Yeah, exactly. That will help you understand it. Like,
do's and don'ts, which is really key, I think.
Yeah, the don'ts are also just as important as the do's. I
agree completely. So I promised that I would try to make these shorter, because that's what our viewership wants. Shorter episodes. But
just for us to stop
stop talking.
No. But so I think we should wrap, but thank you for joining us to learn more about design systems. And I'd love to hear some feedback, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, or whatever it is that the
smash that subscribe. Don't smash it now. Your computer. Follow us, comment, and we'll do our best. Well, we will reply to your comments. We guarantee.
We certainly will. It would be our first comment if we got a comment, so I'd be very excited. This has been Door 3 TV.
Maybe there's even some swag for whoever leaves the first comment. Some Door 3 merch, maybe we throw out there.
Yeah, branded according to our design system.
Stickers.
So we, if you want to reach us, projects.door3.com. And this has been Door 3 TV. Thanks so much. Bye, everybody.